Next item is the review of board committee assignments. And for all the standing committees, those have been decided. It's all the ad hoc committees, primarily to fill in slots where Pam had positions. And what I thought, this would be my suggestion, sort of the longer standing members are represented fairly well on quite a few of these committees, and so I thought I would go through with maybe Mr. Hennessy, Mrs. Mosley, Mrs. Sherwood, and ask you, I'll just start with you, Brian, looking at calendar, employee handbook, joint city school, or activities complaint review. Can you choose one of those right now? And before you do that, let me just ask, at the last meeting, we had Kathy join the activities review. Does the activities complaint go hand in hand with that?
It can, but it doesn't have to. So if you want it to, that's fine.
Okay, you want to go? Okay, so we'll put Kathy in on the activities complaint review, if that's all right. Brian, do you have a choice?
If I had a choice, I guess I would choose the joint city school.
Okay, great. So we'll put Brian in, joint city school representative. Can you give us a sense of what that entails?
Really, it's based on if there's an issue that comes up. We tried to start meeting quarterly, but we didn't have anything to put on the agenda. So it was kind of an exercise in futility. So, because we'd end up canceling the meeting because there wasn't anything that needed to be discussed. So if there are things that come up, the mayor will contact me, I'll contact him, and we'll set up the meeting. It's possible that in the future, with the survey that was done on more recreational opportunities in Toma, that maybe there'll be a need for the city and the school to be talking about working together on some of those things. So, but right now it's as needed.
Okay. I would point out, I was at the Packer tailgate event and was introduced to the new city administrator. His name escapes me.
Randy?
Roger.
Roger, yeah.
And he invited school board members to drop by and speak with him just to sort of see if there was any overlap on what they're doing, what we're doing. So I'll throw that out if you'd like to meet with him, or I would be interested in going with you too. But that might be one thing we do, even if nothing comes up. So Jan, you're down to what, calendar or employee handbook? Do you want to choose one of those?
Is there one that needs more people? It doesn't matter to me.
Both of them are very limited with the amount of time that you have to go to meetings, and calendar is just like 1, maybe 2 meetings a year. The employee handbook will be just once a year, is that right?
Once or twice, depending upon issues that come up.
We're setting the dates for that tonight,
yes.
Right? Later on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably calendar, maybe?
Okay. Great. And then employee handbook. It looks like Judy and I are already on that. We would need to add one person.
I can do it.
Ryan? Okay. So, Mrs. Zardi, do you have all those?
I have them down,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks everyone.
And then if I could also add, Mr. Curran did get in touch with me. He indicated that Matt Ziba and Sarah Walters are the 2 coaches that he's recommending to replace Drew Semmingson and Joel Sandiger. And the citizen rep is Sean Terry.
Okay.
And then you'll notice that Joe Pratz's term expires also this month, and Tom is going to be checking with the Activities Review Committee, but his feeling is that perhaps that should be a permanent position. Having the city rec person permanently on would be a wise thing to do. So I told him to first take that to the Activities Review Committee, and if they were in favor of that, then they could make a recommendation back here to the board on that being a position whose term does not expire.
Okay. Is there anything else then with respect to committee assignments?
One thing on that Activities Review Committee, Mr. President, is the last time we had a meeting, we did not have a quorum. The people that are selected for that committee need to be reminded they need to show up. Otherwise, we can't really hold a meeting according to Hoyle. So the last meeting we had, we did not have a quorum, and we just discussed some things. So who's ever on that committee needs to be reminded that they need to show up for that.
Okay. That goes for all the meetings. I know, reminds me, Mrs. Buswell let me know tonight that she wasn't going to be here. We all have to miss some meetings, and so it's a reminder we all have to sort of check in, and just so we have quorums at different meetings.
It might be good if Mr. Curran would maybe call people or send an email as a reminder too. I know they get the agenda, but
Right, Cindy.
I mean,
Because he was at a loss too, that
Yeah.
these people were supposed to be there, but they weren't.
yeah.
And we conducted the meeting, but it wasn't really a legal thing, John. We didn't make it specifically that, we just discussed things
Okay.
and passed the notes on to Sheila on what transpired, but we didn't have a quorum.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, it's a good reminder. We just have to let people know if we can't make it so that things can either be rescheduled or we can find someone else to sit in.
Right.
So thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else with respect to committees? Is that all the slots that we had, Mrs. Zardi?
Yes, you've got everything covered.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.